You're listening to the HNC Let's Talk podcast, hosted by Dexter Brooks. Thanks for tuning in to HNC Let's Talk podcast. We partner with subject matter experts to provide candid conversations on health and lifestyle. Here at HNC Let's Talk podcast, mental, physical, spiritual, financial, and health are all connected. This episode of HNC Let's Talk podcast is sponsored by HealthNet Co. Together, we make insurance simple.
Good afternoon. This is Dexter Brooks, and I'm your host with HNC Let's Talk podcast. I want to say hello to all my guests today and all our listeners. Today, we have a new guest. Her name is Stephanie Hastings. Stephanie is a certified bookkeeper, financial mindset coach, mentor, speaker, author, wife, and mother. With 19 plus years in various executive men roles, her passion grew to make a positive ripple effect by helping others to accomplish their entrepreneur dreams. Stephanie's expertise and reliability allows her to humanize and transcend the members. Hello, Stephanie, and welcome to HNC Let's Talk podcast. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well. Thank you. I appreciate this opportunity to get seen and get heard.
Anytime, we always have to stick together to make sure we're letting everybody know there's all these resources that are out there in the world. And that is the format of HNC Let's Talk podcast, to open the door to others.
Fantastic. Well, that's one of the reasons why I sort of got into the business that I'm in, is because I felt, okay, there's so much stuff I know, and as long as I keep it to myself, I'm not helping anybody.
That is so true. Now, I know we was going to do a topic today of failing required and failing optional. And Can you shed a little light on that for me?
Yeah. So my upcoming book, it's going to be released out October 1st of this year, is Falling Required, Failing Optional: How to Regain Faith in Your Business After Falling Short of the Mark. And basically, that's the story of my business journey after the untimely death of my father, and followed up 5.5 months later by the almost untimely death of my husband. So
I'm so sorry about that.
Right.
I'm basically going through that, and I just recently lost my mother.
Thank you. I appreciate that. The thing about it is, when we lose someone very close to us that we love so dearly, it's so abruptly. Like, there was no sickness, there was no lead in, there was no lead up to it. It takes your focus. It just sweeps you off your feet, takes your breath away, takes your focus. And at that point in time, I couldn't focus on business. I could really care two hoots about what was going on in my client's business and their world, because my world just came to a close.
Wow. Amazing. Yeah. So, excuse me. What are some of your helpful highlights from the book that you like to share with the audience?
Well, the thing that I really want to bring out is, firstly, we're all human. The playing field is level. We're all human. Things will happen. In business, for yourself as a solopreneur, or maybe you have a few employees, but the thing is the same. If something takes your focus away from your business and you have to sort of focus in or with your family or whatever that tragedy is, there are 3 tips that I can provide you, because I've lived it, I've learned it, and now I'm perfecting it so that I can bring you closer, faster, further than where I was and what happened to me. So tip 1, I would say, find your tribe. Make sure you have those people around you that you can access, who will reach out to you, then you can reach out to, who will support you, who you can have conversations with, because sometimes the conversations are a little dark, but you just need to get them out. You can't sit with those. And secondly, it's very important to have a backup plan, a plan B and a plan C, because it's obvious plan A failed. Right?
How true.
That's obvious. So, and then the step 3 that I recommend highly is to make it right. So if something did happen where you fell short of the mark in your business, let's say you didn't have the correct deliverables, or it wasn't timely for your client, making them have some sort of business issue, make it right. Is it a gift card? Is it a handwritten apology? Is it perhaps a refund for services not received? Make it right. Because after all, at the end of the day, give yourself some grace and some
Mhm.
space because what happened, but also just know that your client had nothing to do with that. And you need to make that right.
That is so true. And it's a hard transition when you're trying to deal with grief and work at the same time.
It truly, truly is. And I was in a really special situation because not only was I dealing with the traumatic and abrupt loss of my father, but shortly thereafter, the hospitalization and traumatic brain injury of my husband. So here I was with a new baby and a 5-year-old, and this was on my plate. So
Wow.
you can imagine.
Oh, yes. I truly can. So the question is, how do you help your clients to benefit from what you offer in your Positive Cash Flow Academy business?
This is something that is a passion project of mine, because what I realized as I was growing my business, as I was going through, I realized if I actually took the examples and things that I learned, the systems, processes, templates that I created, things like that, and I just moved those over into a more digestible little pieces and sort of put together a format of how to make this a better flow of business, how to go from taking your personal funds that you put and infused in the business and now having the business pay you back. And I'm a believer in the profit first sort of format and that formula, because I found that a lot of entrepreneurs, when they start, aren't paying themselves. And in the
That's so true.
field of work that I do, right, I find that oftentimes they're nearing burnout, their relationships start to suffer, they're losing money or hemorrhaging money in the business from this service, this software, this or this, and they're not utilizing any one of them very well. So for Positive Cash Flow Academy, what I do is I put together for your business, we have a little conversation, we do a one-on-one, and it's just specific to your business, and we create an implementable plan, and I help you walk through that. So what does that look like a week out? What does that look like 2 weeks out? What does that look like that first quarter? What does that look like the second quarter? What does that look like the first year? So that you have action steps to actually feel like you're doing something and you're going toward that goal, that profit that you're trying to really build in your business. Because no one really gets into business to go broke. It's the truth.
Now that is so true. Like you said though, but as entrepreneurs, we do go through the process of, we don't pay ourselves. We reinvest back into the business. That's our first thing, is to reinvest, because we're so busy trying to make sure that we do succeed, that we get past that
Uh,
7-year hump,
yep,
so.
yep. We're so focused on the not failing. You don't want to be that percentage that fails. You're so focused on putting all your heart and soul into it. Every dime you have, reinvest, reinvest. And I have, we can talk about this like forever, but I have real client testimonials and stories of how coming in and getting them organized and getting them in a flow of process helped save their marriage,
Wow.
helped them find some time freedom to do the things they wanted to do with their family, with their friends. Um, and it was one of those things where, somebody was cheerful with me and said, I have to tell you, I was that close to asking my spouse for a divorce. And you came in and you cleaned up the systems and made this business an actual business again. And I was like, ooh, that's heavy. So what you have to realize is pretty much everyone's money story has other further root causes, roots that flow out from their life. So when you can help someone fix their money story and become prosperous, it creates different types of freedom. that mind freedom, that financial freedom, and what that brings into their life, time more with their family, time spent doing fun things they want to do, travel, eating at new restaurants, enjoying a good book at your leisure on your own time. All sorts of things open up for you. Reinvesting in yourself, in your financial future. What does your retirement plan look like? Do you have a retirement plan? Is there a will? Do you have insurance? Have you thought about any of these things because you were so focused on the business? It opens up the mind.
Absolutely. Now, I know you spend a lot of time working with women. So what do you mostly enjoy about working with women entrepreneurs who've been established in business a minimum of 3 to 5 years?
Well, I love this segment of business owners and female business owners, especially because at this point, within that 3 to 5 year mark, you know what's working and what's not. Right?
Oh, yes.
You know if you've invested too much of your personal funds into this and now you've bankrolling your favorite hobby. You know if you need a virtual assistant or you need some assistance to help pull you back from the day-to-day stuff, like the administrative stuff, the invoicing, and some of those things, when you should be out making the sales calls because you're the face of your company. You should be out doing those things that only you can do, because if you're doing anything else, it's costing you money. And I focus on women business entrepreneurs because what I have noticed is when I can change their perspective, when I can change their profitability and have them actually realize their business as being a business, what I've actually changed was their financial future for their actual family, for their generational financial future,
Mhm.
and for their community. So what I've noticed is women tend to learn something and then teach something, learn something, teach something, and give it back. I'm not saying gentlemen don't do that either, but I'm just saying most of the businesses, the men in my experience, have been so excited to move forward and focus getting their business forward, they don't step to the side and be like, yeah, I'm going to go to Boys and Girls Club and find me a young man who needs to be an entrepreneur. Mm, that doesn't often happen. Does it happen? Sure. Does it happen often? No. But with women in business
Good
at that
point.
level, when they realize they can be successful, they often turn to a counterpart or someone younger than them and teach them the lessons so that that next person can step up to.
Good point. Good point. Now, so why do you call yourself the accidental entrepreneur turned intentional game changer? Now, that's interesting. So,
Oh, Dexter, you're going to love this. Okay. So back in 2006, I was working a wonderful job, loved the job, fantastic. It was in hospitality. It was just exactly what I went to school for. I was like, yes, I'm doing this. One of my coworkers approached me because she knew that I often helped people on the side to do accounting and bookkeeping and things like that. And she said, oh, my mom owns her own bookkeeping firm and she just needs some part-time help. Would you be willing to step in and help her? And I was like, oh my gosh, certainly, yeah. Because I was only working part-time at that company anyway. So part-time here, part-time there, full-time employment, sounds good. So I went to go work for her, and that was in May. I started working for her in May, and in August, I believe it was like August 8th or 6th or something. I remember it was at the end of the day, and she asked me to write out my paycheck, and so I wrote out my paycheck, and she says, we've done good work here, we're good. I just got closed on this big contract. It's the one contract that will cover business for me now and in the future. I really don't need any of the other clients, and they love working specifically with you, so I'm going to hand them over to you and you can take care of that. Now at this time, this is back in the day, so I did personal bookkeeping and accounting services. I went to their home offices or their business offices and did their accounting from their offices. And so I was like, oh, that's so great. That's so wonderful, right? She she signs my check, hands my check to me, hands me the travel laptop, puts my sweater on top of it, walks me to the door and says, they have loved you. You've done such a great job. They have nothing but good things to say about you. this has been the best thing ever. And I was like, oh, okay, thank you. And she just shoves me out the door by the small of my back. And right, the
Oh,
door closes behind me. And I'm just thinking, wait a second. Have I just been fired? I I I don't understand what just happened. And so I'm
wow.
sitting there for a minute, and I actually go to my car. I actually put down the laptop and everything, and I'm confused and I'm tearful, right? I start to get teary-eyed because I loved her. She was fabulous, treated me so well. I turned around, went back to the door, and I knocked on the door, and she opened the door, and I'm just like, glistening, and I said, did you just fire me? Have I been fired? I said, I said, I didn't do anything wrong. I don't think I've done anything wrong. And she said, oh no, sweetie, I've just given you your own business.
Wow. Now that's
And that's how it started. So
that's
that's
awesome.
my start. So that's my accidental, right, entrepreneurship. And now I'm in a place of intentional game changing um, transformations for my clients and everyone that I can reach out to. Anyone who's listening, I am here to help you. Reach out to me. You let me know how I can help, because knowledge held onto me, just onto myself, does no one else any good. So come get some knowledge. If I've got it, I'll teach it to you. And I'm the game changer in the fact that I'm very good at taking a forensic overview of your business and where you are, and then being able to just list out step by step by step by step of what needs to happen and what needs to change, so
Mhm.
that you can start making profit and you can hit those goals that are important to you and your business. So that's how I became an intentional game changer. Is, now I'm doing this on purpose, right? Before I was just shoved out the door. Just something that happened to me, and now it's something that I'm bringing to the world on purpose.
Wow. I mean, that is amazing. Kudos to you for that one. Kudos to you, definitely. Now, you also work with your clients to grow their profits by changing their mindset around their business. So how do you facilitate those results?
So this is a fun thing for me, and I didn't realize that over the years I'd been doing this anyway. So when I initially start working with my clients, I just take you for a minute and I say, well, let's dream for a minute. The world were all rainbows and sunshine and checks. What would your business look like? What would that look like? What would that feel like to you? What would your goals be if you had all the clients you wanted and needed and your business was thriving? What would that business be? How would you act in your business? And what would be the end result for your clients? So we get down to the nitty gritty of that like that dream, like what's the big
Mhm.
dream? What's the big impact you can make with your business? And then I realized that when they get the opportunity to share and tell in great detail about where they want their business to be, it is so much easier, and they can go so much faster in getting to that end game when they have a cheerleader and an implementer and someone who can see the path ahead for them and help them take the next steps to get there. So that's what we do. It's a step-by-step process that is only for you. It is not cookie cutter. It will not work for anybody else's business because they don't have your dreams. They don't have your finances. They don't have your in-game goals, right?
Absolutely. Like most people don't realize, a lot of business come about is basically through a dream or through, like I said, it's a passion or a dream. That's something that just happened to you and you sort of just walk into it. It's
Right,
never actually planned out like people think it is,
right, right.
you know?
And some of the best things. So here's one of the best things. The best things about this too is, Dexter, there's often times where people don't realize that they have something in them, their gift, right? Their talent, their passion can be turned into profit. They don't often realize that.
That's so
And
true.
so when they get a chance to share that, right? When they get to share with everything on their heart, you can say, somebody needs what you got. And so
Yep.
it's it's out of that little seed of conversation that profit and money and business grows.
Now, how did the Money Growth Reset program come about?
So this is really funny. I am one of those people that I like to just put something out there so people can understand my mindset behind it. But this one just made me giggle a little bit because initially I thought red, yellow, green. Stop, the yield, the stop, the yield, and the go, right?
Correct.
For the stoplights. And I thought in business, that's really how it is. You inject money, you grow a little bit, and now you really need to stop and reset to get really going. Like to move forward in your business, you need to take advantage of some systems, some processes, some things that you didn't know about when you started, right? When you were at that red light, things changed, traffic around you changed. And so now that you're going green again, you got to take into consideration those things. So I thought money, growth, reset. And I
Awesome.
giggled. so so that's where I went with that, is because we talk about the money, we talk about the situation where you really want to be, we talk about the growth that you've made, where you've gotten to, right? How you've gotten there. And then we do a reset so that now it's all green, your foot's on the gas, and now you can just go, 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 and now you can grow again. And now it's a process where now you've reset, now you're growing again, and now the money's flowing again. So it's one of those things. You're always going to come up to a light.
There you go. Now, I understand your Money Growth Reset program is 6 weeks and it's offered in a small group setting. But do you have anything or something that you offer on a one-on-one basis?
Yes. So the next step from Money Growth Reset is a more of a one-on-one thing. So I have the group plan, but the one-on-one is one level up from that, where now, okay, we've set up that 6-week plan. We've implemented everything. We've done our action steps. But now that you've got some momentum, you work with me so we can keep that. We build out your plan longer. We build that out so we see the growth for that next quarter. We see the growth for that next year. We see the growth for the next 5 years. And we build in implementable steps. And then we build in some action where you can reach out to me and just say, okay, Steph, I've gotten this, but now I got this new big client. So now we've made a leap. So maybe we've jumped over some steps, and then we sit down to renegotiate the plan, right? Because now the plan's changed. And that's where that one-on-one is really important, is because now as you grow, I grow and stay with you so that the plan can continue to do what it's meant to do, and that's to reach your end goal.
Wow. So when you speak to your business superpowers, being the game changer, how does that relate to the impact you make with your clients?
That is, I love that question. I thank you for that. I appreciate that, because what I enjoy is seeing that someone has really gotten to their end goal, right? So one example I have is a client of mine needed me for just simple tax return service. That's it. That's all she really wanted. And what ended up happening, though, was as we sat down and we started talking, and I started seeing these chunks and gaps in her finances, I was like, do you mind, let's talk about working together a little bit longer, because I think I need to stick with this for a little bit so we can see your growth. I said, what are your dreams? What are some of the things you want to accomplish? Well, it turns out for her, she was a yoga instructor who wanted to own her own wellness center. And we were able to, with some slight shifts, right? And it was mindset shifts. Truth be told, for this particular client, it was all mindset shifts. We just made a few shifts. She was able to be debt free. She just manifested all these great things into her life. She was able to be debt free. What was it? 5 or 6 months later. And then not only was she making more money, but she was able to take herself on a 30-day vacation to India, where she's always wanted to go. And then when she came back, she was in a position to sit and have negotiations to get that wellness center.
Nice.
That
Oh,
was from November to July that happened.
now, where can listeners go to get your complimentary Money Growth Reset checklist? to
Yes.
assist
So this,
if they have any tweaks or leaks that they need to address in their business.
oh, I love this. This checklist is perfect for that, because as you go down, if you're hitting any of these check boxes, this program's for you, right? That it just screams it's for you. But basically, you can go to Stephanie@taxdaybaby.com, shoot me an email, and in the subject line put checklist. And I will send that to you, and I will make sure that you have that right in your in-bin, and you can do that little checklist. And then just reach out to me if you've got any questions, or if you want to take a little look and learn a little bit more about that Money Growth Reset program.
Awesome. Now, before we close out, what advice would you like to give to entrepreneurs today?
Ooh, that's another good one. So as an entrepreneur, it's a slippery slope for all the things that you don't know. But what I'd like to tell you is there are wonderful resources out there if you just reach out for them. There's wonderful resources right in your own neck of the woods, in your own community. Just look for anything that pertains to your business. There's specific industry things, but there's also small business associations that will direct you in different ways. But another key thing that I want to say is get help the minute you think you need it. Because if you continue down a path doing things that you shouldn't be doing in your business, you're not only wasting your time and spending effort and money where it shouldn't go, but you're also setting yourself in a backwards trajectory instead of moving forward. So ask for help, get help, seek help. It is here, and be confident in the fact that covering your assets
That's yes, that's right.
is important. Make sure you have a will for yourself. Make sure there's insurance for your business, because getting a will for yourself is the selfless act. You're looking after your family. Getting insurance for yourself and your business is the selfless act. It's looking after your family and looking after the health and financial well-being of your business. So that's my tips to you today, and I just appreciate this time to share.
Thank you. No problem at all. I want to say this again. I want to reiterate the fact that if you want to reach out to Stephanie, her email address is stephanie@taxdaybaby.com. Okay. So all my listeners know how to get in touch with her, and she would definitely follow back up with you. All right, Stephanie, I want to thank you so much for joining HNC Let's Talk podcast today, and I look forward to more sessions with you in the future.
Thank
And
you.
until then, that's what they say. Ha ha. It's going to be a great day, right?